And I think that's where people miss it. Like, everybody doesn't have to be the same.
But why do you care is my question. Why do you care if someone wants to be called he, she, they, them?
I could care less.
Why do you care?
It doesn't matter to me.
If you are so steadfast in your beliefs, believe in your beliefs, but why do you care so much about forcing your beliefs on another person? What does that affect you? Welcome back to the Around the Districts podcast. I'm Gabrielle Mazar.
I'm Nicole Brown.
And today we're going to talk about the heightened awareness around the polarization of people and the rise in violence that we have seen happening. There have been 370-ish mass shootings in the United States to date. That's more days than in the year. And another one happened just today, yesterday, I don't know. They're every day. You can't even keep track. I think we're so desensitized to it, which is unfortunate. But I think what we're seeing with this polarization of people is that people's emotions are so heightened. Personally, for my business, I guess there's a TikTok or just a social media trend going around where people are attacking people. And this happened to me in my business personally. And it sucks. It's disheartening. It's really sad that people feel the way they do, but it's understandable. It's understandable that people, are so sensitive to things anymore. And I'm sure that you can understand and definitely feel it as well. Like, there's so much going on, and it's just, you sometimes just look at people and I don't know what to do. So what do you think? What do you feel like is going on?
I feel like there's a lot of anxiety around the nation, and mainly it's because we don't really know what's happening, right? A lot of our norms, things that we thought we knew about the United States, have changed under the current administration. And the Constitution really is in question. There's a lot of things that have happened, and decisions or executive orders that came down that are things we would never do, right, as a nation normally.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's emboldened a lot of people to feel a certain way, and we've seen an increase.
Or to act a certain way.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen an increase in mass shootings. We've seen folks being hung in Mississippi, like things that we don't normally see, or that's talked about. We see anger on the roads. People are just angry. Today there was a road rage incident here in Phoenix, and it's just unfortunate because, and I think people are scared. I really do. A lot of what comes from the current administration is, like women or minorities shouldn't be in certain positions.
Right.
Or
pilots.
Yeah.
Or military. I mean, just this, whatever military thing that was held by Hegseth. I mean, it's appalling. I think, we were talking about how he wants to have a male standard, but other military officers say there is no male or female standard. It is just the standard. This is the standard you have to meet. And to say that you need this male standard and to get back to the male standard of military is,
well, he said there would be no more men in dresses, so transgender, rights are out.
Because, they do that when they're wearing their military garb,
No DEI hires or hires based on race or gender were things that he said. And then I think it was so many things that came out of that. If I watched a portion of it and then I couldn't, it's concerning. The words that are being used, like the wars from within, those are Hitler words.
Yeah.
A war, sending the war zone is the enemy within. Those are Nazi words.
Right.
And it's like a verbatim.
Attack the American people to allow the deportation of American citizens. It's absolutely insane. It's absurd. There's no reason for it. It's unconstitutional. We know this. To get rid of DEI. We've seen that 300,000 Black women losing their jobs
Since under this current
under this
administration,
current
yes.
administration. And they're the most, you're the
Educated.
most impacted by this, but also the most educated.
Group in the nation. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you know that you have to work that much harder to be in those positions, which again is unfortunate. You talk about DEI and hiring people just because of your gender, the color of your skin. We know that there is more education because you have to work harder.
That's a
as
fact.
as a woman of color, you are far excelling, and you're the ones losing the jobs the most. It's sad to see, especially in the military, talking about this because, one, we know what happened to LGBTQ in the military. We know what's happened to women in the military. And to go back to whatever that standard is sick. All of these things that we've put in place are to protect people. And to strip those away gives.
Well, where's the diversity?
Right.
That's what we want.
They don't want diversity.
Right. But I think you miss out so much on, like, thought, forward thinking, leadership from a different perspective. There's a lot of value in having people that don't look like you, regardless of what that is, sit across from you and help make decisions because you're looking at it from a different lens. There are some things that I have experienced personally that you never will experience, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
And I think people forget that. And when you're pushing an agenda of a male dominant / mostly white male dominant, because Hegseth, talked about how, our Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Jackson is a DEI hire, and that, Michelle Obama, like these are
educated,
women who
qualified
are educated
women,
women who
experienced, educated,
right.
qualified, experienced
And
women, right?
Pete Hegseth is a
was
TV
a Fox
personality,
News personality,
so
who served how many?
I don't even know how
he's
he's in the role he's in, right? But I digress.
We do, but
Department of War instead of
right.
Because
we want to declare war on our own.
I mean, these are just concerning. As American citizens, we need to stand up and fight back. We cannot let this happen because all of our rights are in question.
Right.
But mainly it's going to start with the people that they feel are the easiest targets. But all of us are losing our rights, not just some of us.
Right.
And, for those people who voted for Trump and thought he was going to be a change, I don't see it. I'm willing to sit down and have a conversation to see where do you see that's happening, because I've not seen it
but
since
that's
December
what's lost.
Or January of this year.
That is what's lost, is that you used to be able to have the conversation. Right. Anymore, there is no conversation. It is whatever they say it is, and whatever you say is wrong.
Yeah.
And there is no conversation. There used to be a back and forth, even between further right Republicans and liberals, to have some sort of median, but we're not meeting in the middle at all. We're not having that conversation because you can't even go there. It's so heated. It's so, polarized that you can't even have
even
those
in
conversations.
families. Like family members are no longer, speaking because of this current administration. But here's the thing. If you're a good leader, whether you're in leadership, a leader in your family, a leader amongst your peers, then you're going to know that you're not going to get everything you want. And it's called compromise, right? Because we can never have it all one way. And nobody's ever going to think the same. If everybody thinks the same, then there's no diversity of thought, period.
Right.
And I think people forget that. Like, I may want everybody to have healthcare, but cost-wise, that may not be effective. We may be able to save as many people as we can, but we may not be able to get everybody in the boat. And I think people forget it's things like that as a leader, you would want to make sure that you are servicing all of your people the best way you can. That doesn't mean everybody's going to get everything.
Right.
And they forget. And this draw the line in the sand. I don't know if they
forget. I think they don't care.
Yeah. I agree with that. 100%.
I think there is a lot of hate and anger towards that is different. This idea of Christian nationalism, of the trad wife, of, the white man And, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't agree with it. I know some people do, but we're trying to take things back so far that women weren't able to get loans
Right.
or bank accounts or vote. And this was in not that long ago. This was not so long ago that it is without understanding that these things happened 40 years ago.
1965, minorities got the right to vote.
Right.
1965.
Right.
That's,
and we're so
in most people's lifetime. Right?
We're so
There's a lot of
angry
people born
about that. We're
around that
still
time.
so angry about that. We're why? I mean, 51% of the United States is not white.
Mm-hmm. 1965 was just 60 years ago.
Just 60 years ago.
But here's my thing with all of that. If you want to stay at home and service your husband and iron his pants and cook his, that's your business. Absolutely. I'm not telling you can't do that.
Right.
Where it crosses the line is if you tell me I have to do that.
Right.
And that is where I have
to be a Christian nation. Yeah, or when we know that church and state should be separate. Right. That's what we stand on.
That line has been so blurred.
That line has been so blurred.
Where was it, Oklahoma?
Where they put Bibles in that guy just resigned.
Yeah.
That superintendent just resigned, actually. So I don't know what happened, but he did resign. I think it was just not a few days ago.
Wonder why?
I think there was something. He was probably on Grindr. Yeah. Release the Grindr.
Is he afraid? Release the Epstein files so we can
and the Grindr list.
Yeah. But it's things like that when you force a belief on a group of people is where people have a problem. And that goes both ways.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that the Christian thing is bad because I believe in God. But what I'm saying is even on the liberal side of things, when people are, forced to say pronouns, and this is what I've heard from people that are older than me, when they're forced to say pronouns, like, why should I have to call somebody a pronoun that doesn't make sense to me? And that's true. Like, if I don't care who you like or what, that's your business. You know what I mean? I can see it from their perspective, just as I can. If I'm not a Christian, you can't force me to be a Christian or believe what you're going to believe, regardless of, how you feel or what good you think it does. And I think that's where people miss it. Like, everybody doesn't have to be the same.
But why do you care is my question. Why do you care if someone wants to be called he, she, they, them?
I could care less.
Why do you care?
It doesn't matter to me.
If you are so steadfast in your beliefs, believe in your beliefs. But why do you care so much about forcing your beliefs on another person? What does that affect you? Yeah. What does it affect you in your life if someone wants to wear a dress or if someone wants to have, surgery? I understand for someone underage. I get that. They're not adults.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But
that's the compromise, seeing it from a different perspective. Right. So if I were a parent and if I heard that the schools were talking about, transgender at a very young age, okay, I could be concerned. I understand how parents feel.
As a teacher and an educator, I'm sure you can relate to this. You can't even get kids to do their homework and bring it to school and show up to class on time and even not be on their phones in class. I never once in all the years that I was a teacher or still am a teacher talk about a student becoming the opposite sex or being gay. If a child comes to you and asks you a question, fine, but teachers aren't in your schools talking about it. Yeah. They're teaching children. Period.
And by the way, they need to be taught. They need to be paid more, by the way.
They absolutely need to be paid more. But it's absurd. It's absurd. Indoctrinating your kids. I can't get your kids to do homework.
But you did hear that the Department of Education is partnering with Moms of Liberty to, put curriculum in schools. And so that's concerning because what does that mean? You know what I mean?
Right.
Based on what I know about that.
If that's not indoctrination, then I don't know what is. Then the word means nothing. I don't know.
I do think parents have a right to know and have a say in what their child learns. I believe that the partnership between a teacher and a school system and a parent is crucial.
Absolutely.
So that is true. I have a concern when you try to force beliefs on me, right, or you try to take things out because you don't personally believe in, like, books, ban books because you personally don't believe in books. And most of them, by the way, were minority or women authors.
I think that our first step is to understand that we're not going to have the same beliefs and stop being angry because they're trying to pit us against each other. Stop being so angry. Know that there's a side. Know that we both have one. And go from there. I know that we can't have these conversations anymore because they're so heated, but all you can do is try. All you can do is try to talk to somebody, and instead of just being so angry and so sensitive to it, just know that there are two sides and you might not agree, but do the best you can.
Yep.
Right? Let us know what you guys think. If you have any situations that have happened to you, please share your comments. Like us, share us. We're on all the things. Follow us on Instagram. But this is the Around the District podcast. So we'll see you next time.